Hey everybody, welcome back to a surprising new episode of The Wealth Around Us. The topic of today's episode is going to be about corruption, especially corruption in the Gwinnett and Duluth areas of Georgia. First off, I want to say to those of you in law enforcement and our city governments that tend to be corrupt, what goes around comes around, and now you've got the feds barking at your back door. So, just a word to the wise: if you're corrupt and you're in Duluth and Gwinnett, run for the hills, buddy. Resign your position and run for the hills, because I guarantee you, if they've gone this far, they're going to go a lot farther with it, and there's going to be a lot more people arrested, especially people on the Duluth Police Department. Ooh, yep, I said it. And just wanted to give you a quick update on the current state of affairs in what was otherwise a straight-up dirty South little town that ran things the old grandfathered-in way. Not only is this kind of crap un-American and unconstitutional, it's criminal. And now it appears that, well, yet another of our head leaders in Gwinnett County has bitten the bullet. She and her son didn't quite luck out as good as the last standing guy, Charles Bannister, who was indicted for corruption, conspiracy, and bribery. He quickly resigned his post so they couldn't, put him in jail for it, but his crony, Kevin Kennerly, who was known for using his position to broker powerful land deals in the area, he's getting re-indicted. They threw out the indictment, and so the district attorney just threw another indictment at him. He's like, all right, you can choke on that. So Kennerly will be coming to justice here pretty shortly, but the latest person in the Duluth area to come to justice was a very well-known figure named Shirley Fanning. She was the ex-mayor of Duluth when I was in high school, and her son, Johnny, who I went to high school with. And if you're watching, Johnny, thumbs up, douche. You ruined your whole future over a couple of bucks. But I'll just give you a quick background. Now, when I was in high school, Duluth was still pretty much a one-horse town. We didn't have a lot of the cool stuff we have now, like the downtown park center and all that. It was just basically a bunch of chop shops along that road, and it looked like hell. And who was actually legit on that road was there, like you just collecting money on their land. They weren't doing anything with it, let cars sit on it and whatnot. But Shirley Fanning, who later married and became Shirley Lassiter Fanning or some crap like that, was probably one of the most corrupt public figures I can think of, in just terms of every kid in high school heard the stories about her son, about how he basically got his way with the police department. He would speed through town in his cool brand new Camaro that he got. The cops would pull him over. He'd tell them go home, and they would. And well, fast forward, a decade or so, she had won an election to get up to county commissioner instead of the mayor of a lily city where she was at. And basically right now what happened was, a couple days ago, she resigned as the Gwinnett County Commissioner before pleading guilty to taking a $35,000 bribe in an ongoing corruption investigation that ensnared her son Johnny, and a businessman described as Lassiter's bag man. Lassiter pleaded guilty to one count of bribery. Her son, Johnny Fanning, a member of Gwinnett County's Zoning Board of Appeals, funny enough how she probably inserted him into that position with just more of her corruption and backroom dealing. She will be sentenced on August 6th to federal drug bribery and conspiracy charges. Couldn't have happened to a nicer lady. I can tell you from knowing her personally and having dealt with her several times, just on a personal level, like, I was just around her kids, and she was a complete and utter asshole. As her family puts it, her family doesn't even like her. Most of her family, and that just says something. When your family votes against you in the primaries, you're some kind of just human trash. I mean, if your family hates you, I mean, that's probably a good indicator that everyone else does too. Well, she's going to be running off August 6th to, they'll probably put her in prison. They'll probably give her a slap on the wrist compared to what I would have got for doing these things. But apparently what she was doing stretched way back into her tenure as the mayor of Duluth. She admitted it in court that evidence brought forth in court by the FBI has her on tape admitting to doing this kind of crap well before she was county commissioner, and that means she was doing it all over Duluth. I could have told you that, but no one would have believed me. And I recall a couple years ago I got on the AJC, what we're looking at right here, they have blogs, and it was during her election, and I got on that blog several times and accused her of her corruption, said, you've been driving this town into the dirt for a long time, and it's time we got rid of corrupt, heifers like you. And she comes back on that blog going, who are you to criticize our county leaders? Well, here's who I am, Shirley. I am someone who saw you for what you are, a criminal and corrupt. And I called your police department out on it. I called you out on it. I called your kid out on it for being an asshole and beating nerds up in school. And lo and behold, how the mighty have fallen. And this is just one of these things. I have to give the FBI my little golf clap here. You really have impressed me on this one. I would have never thought you would have cracked this egg, but apparently enough people have complained to you, and you have enough information to where you see that they're right now. They're not just making it up. And this is happening in a lot of American cities. We get these politicians in there. She was not just taking bribes. She was dealing cocaine by like the bricks. I think it was like 2 kilos or something like that they found her with. So not only was she dealing drugs, taking bribes, screwing people out of their land, she exercised eminent domain on Hank's family, believe it or not. Now we come to find out this is all ding, fraud upon the court. Fraud upon the court has no statute of limitations. That means I could wait 30 years and still bring it up in court as long as your ass was alive to drag into that courtroom. Fraud upon the court's a very serious offense. They don't take it very lightly. The very minimum is going to be 10. Your ass goes to jail for 10 years. There is also a very little known law, and this is a federal law. If you look under Title 242, Section 18 of the U.S. Federal Code, you will find that anybody working for the government under any color of any law who deprives another person of their rights, which she clearly has, I mean, she's admitted to it in this court case, is guilty of a 10-year felony. And if they have caused any harm to said person, like, monetary harm or physical harm, that can go up to life. Look it up. I'm not making this stuff up. I mean, you find it a little bit. I gave you the code and section and title. Look it up. It's very expressly worded. So this could just be the beginning for a whole ball of worms going down in Gwinnett and Duluth. But just a warning to you corrupt politicians and corrupt city leaders and corrupt police officers in Duluth that you got big problems now because you got feds sniffing at your back door, and you're probably not going to get away with it. If you've done something in this town, they're going to find out about it, and they're going to arrest you, and they're going to bring you to justice, just like they did your high and mighty commissioner. So, thanks for watching, everybody, and always remember, crime never pays.